Welcome to Mother's Narrative Network. Before we begin, please like and subscribe for more daily uploads. Hope you enjoy today's video. How to look expensive Part 3. I don't know if I look expensive or not, to be honest. I suspect I do, because I have quite nice, subtle things. I am perfectly happy to pay £150 for a pair of shoes, but not often much more. I have a classic Burberry trench coat in my wardrobe from 1984, and don't wear it, because it looks dated. The cut is dated and I don't really know how, possibly the mud calf length that was perfect back then, but knit now. I am of course quite old by Mumsnet standards. 55. I am also not thin, a size 14, but tall and on the border of my BMI. I would love to be thinner. But hair? I have a very good, retired from the West End hairdresser. I go every 6 weeks. Every 6 weeks, I have a T-bar color in 2 shades of dark blonde, a warm tone, no idea what they are. I'm lucky because not too much gray. After 2 T-bars, I have a half head of highlights. Cut and blow dry every 6 weeks. Slightly layered so it flicks out rather than under, not quite shoulder length. I spend about £120 PCM on my hair overall. At him a 5-minute blow dry and 5 minutes with the curling brush. Clothes aren't my highest priority. The hierarchy is DH and the DC, home, education, holidays, cars. I work full-time in a relaxed environment and spend a lot of time trying to blend in and not look too well-heeled. My bosses don't need to know. I agree with you on Esprit, lovely simple clothes. With so many UK brands, you have to wade through piles of over-fussy stuff that you're going to get tired of so quickly. From people watching, a lot, I think that something that really marks well-dressed people out is that their outfits are cohesive. Not matchy-matchy, but if they are wearing a smart get-up, they'll also have a smart coat on, not a anorak. And if they are wearing a fleece and jeans, they'll be wearing a sporty bag and shoes rather than a leather handbag and boots. And they might not have a massive wardrobe of bags and shoes, but they wear ones that work together. It's about being thoughtful and disciplined about what you buy and making sure it all works together. Late to the thread, but I've been thinking about this and need to make a Marmite sort of post here. It will mention House of Color. I agree with what's been said: regrooming, taking care of clothes, spending money, often, being slim and tallish, etc. But I also believe that it's only possible to actually achieve the specific look that a lot of people on this thread seem to be referring to, if you have a specific style personality. By style personality, I mean the categories discussed here, not a hawk link grin. Not everyone looks right, or their best in blazers, loafers, silk scarves, smart jeans, wool coats, riding boots, or whatever item you want to ascribe to their expensive-looking woman. As has been said, these items usually belong to a very classic look, something which I believe you need to have a classic style personality to carry off. I'll use my DSIS as an example. She has been diagnosed as an ingenue natural by Hawk, basically relaxed and feminine. If she tried to dress like a preppy Ralph Lauren model, she would look ridiculous. And she's a curly girl, so couldn't do the sleek highlighted hair either. To look her most expensive, she would need to wear items according to her style personality, because by definition those items would make her look most like her. TLDR, most people seem to have a specific look in their mind which they associate with looking expensive, and I think that people who don't suit this look can never look as expensive in that way. The exception would be the woman mentioned above wearing the suede skirt and fur gilet. I would assume that because 1, these items suit her style personality, so she can pull them off, and 2, these items are currently in fashion, and 3, these items may be made of very expensive materials. She can still look expensive without looking classic. I've pondered this too. I was lucky to have a private education for part of my school time. Some of my friends were daughters of multi-millionaires, some were aristocratic. I think the look you are describing is the aristocratic one. I think what the basis of the look is something to do with being self-assured. Saying that though, the aristocratic, old money, ones all bought the very very best natural fabrics, and made them last. New things were seen as very non-new, worn in but smart was better. Absolutely no bling in the day. Plain metal chains, earrings or pearls normal size, not the big obviously fake ones. They also had a ready for any eventuality way of dressing. Whether wandering round some fields or going to a posh restaurant for lunch, they would have fitted in. And you have to be slim, not thin but slim. And it must always look like you are not really trying to give off the wealthy air. I failed to get anywhere near their poise. Luckily, they were a lovely lot and accepted me for the slovenly tramp I am. It reminds me of times walking round Harrods, the Selfridges, the Liberty etc., and there are women wailing round who obviously have lots of money, but are wearing absolutely hideous clothes. I think you can look expensive without looking preppy. Sofia Coppola looks expensive, but not in a preppy way. A person wearing Ingenu-style clothes in good fabrics, with good quality leather shoes, will look still expensive even if they're not wearing preppy or slony clothes. And conversely, I think the pick above with the peach jumper and the big fake pearls looks preppy, but not expensive. Whether wandering round some fields or going to a posh restaurant for lunch, they would have fitted in. Could you describe the type of outfit or shoes this would involve? To me a field involves wellies at least and a posh restaurant definitely doesn't. Well rude elf, didn't you know one's hunters are necessary for a nice lunch at Claridge's? Okay, maybe a change of footwear for the different places, but the style wouldn't have changed. I think it's all about a beautiful coat, boots, bag and hair. I agree. When you leave the house those are the things that people notice. So why not make sure those outer garments are good quality, because they are the first things people see. Instead of wasting money buying cheap stuff to wear underneath. I think there are lots of ways to look expensive, but personally I am a huge fan of color and originality. I am far from claiming to be an expert, but my go-to style at the moment is a shirt dress, really flattering on most body shapes. I'm 5 feet 4 inches, and a curvyish size 10, and they look really flattering if pulled in at the waist, with tights and boots. One of my friends wore a fabulous warehouse shirt dress the other day, which looked much more expensive than it was. I tend to go for quite colorful dresses and scarves, with classic shoes, mainly Russell, and Bromley sale purchases for day wear. But I think you can get great looking shoes from Clarks and Jones too. I'm also a fan of DVF wrap dresses. If you can spare £80 to £100, then you can pick one up on eBay for special occasions. They are great for curvier figures, though you do need well-fitting underwear. Personally, I think the slony skinny jeans and sweater look on its own is a bit bland. I am also not sure it looks great on anyone who isn't slim with small breasts, not me. I think that people who really have money to spend on clothes, with a personality to go with it, will tend to seek out more original, look-at-me outfits, or accessories. There are some brilliant scarves that really make an outfit for an investment piece, e.g. liliandlionel.com/scarves.html. Ultimately, I think my attitude is that I would rather look interesting and individual. I love clothes, but I am not very interested in conforming to a look that supposedly makes me look thinner or more attractive to men. However, I think that attitude is actually what makes people look more expensive and stylish. It may not be to everybody's taste, but if you have nothing to prove, then you can enjoy dressing for yourself and as an expression of your personality. The key is really enjoying clothes and not worrying too much about what other people think. I think that is especially important if you are curvier. There are so many gorgeous clothes out there that it is just a bit sad when people feel they have to wear a certain uniform to try to look slim. Oh, and another thumbs up for Alex Monroe. I get so many compliments on the necklace I have. I think his designs are beautifully understated and interesting at the same time. Don't attempt to color your hair at home. You can always tell when it's a cheap DIY job out of a box from boots. The finished result usually lacks the different tones, warmth and richness, which you get from going to a salon and getting it done properly. The color always ends up looking cheap and flat despite what you may think. People have mentioned Kate Middleton's style a few times. She tends to dress a bit safe, but to me she always looks stylish and classy. Liz Hurley has that same effortless look, and yet Princess Eugenie and Beatrice, similar backgrounds, similar money at their disposal, always seem to end up looking like sacks of potatoes, no matter how hard they try. Maybe style and taste is something you're either born with or not. There are sometimes exceptions, but on the whole, being slim makes it easier to look good in clothes. I see women in Waitrose in the morning in their workout gear, and they look expensive. They may be covered in mud from their boot camp class, but it matters not, they still look like money. Other old ladies wearing too much makeup and overdone hair look expensive. Is it an attitude, a stride, the way you hold yourself? I don't know, but it can't be reduced to grooming and being mud-free. This is the photo. I only added it for the skirt. I don't think the whole outfit is great on her, but definitely don't think she looks awful. I always say it on these threads, Massimo Dutti. Lots of silk, cotton and cashmere, little pattern and a limited color palette. This is what I think looks expensive, the classic. Nothing here IMO would date. One and one, I buy nearly all my clothes online. The great thing about shirt dresses is that they nearly always fit, because you just pull them in at the waist, so they are a really easy online purchase. I think they look great with ankle boots for the daytime, but can be jazzed up with heels for the evening. I have a couple of DVF ones bought on sale on Thoutnet, which I have worn to death. ASOS has a few nice ones at the moment too. I think we also have to consider that looking expensive is not desirable for everyone. I'd personally like to look friendly, approachable, able to joke, clean, tidy, interesting, practical, attractive, not all at once. I strongly suspect that there's extra connotations like aloof, fastidious, unapproachable, snooty, unable to have fun. Cos, I don't want my clothes messed up that I don't want to exude. I'm not saying they're definite side effects of expensive, just that I don't want to put clients, the children off that I work with. I don't want a barrier between me and the rest of the world. There is something about expensive that also gives off a don't fuck with me vibe. I want to look assertive, without putting distance between me and others. Anyway, rambling. Everything dates, some things more quickly than others. Some clothes are basics, but too many classic basics can just look frumpy and dull. Slim, blonde, tall, white teeth. Now that is expensive. Wearing a cheap watch can instantly cheapen your look. It doesn't have to be very expensive, but you don't want to be wearing a really cheapy one, i.e. from next to M and S, the new look, etc. People forget about things like watches and other jewelry when they're putting together an outfit. I also think that some types of statement jewelry look cheap and nasty. If you must wear statement jewelry, make sure it's good quality, or failing that, fine jewelry, even if a bit old-fashioned, is better than the wrong thing. It's all in the detail. Designer bags look fake if you are not dressed to the same standard. IMO, you can't up your game with a handbag. There are so many fakes. I think unless you are incredibly wealthy, designer handbags look naff. Is it possible to look expensive without any jewelry at all? I don't have any. Not even costume jewelry. I don't have my ears pierced. I don't have a watch. I wear none. I find it a nuisance at work, tbh, and haven't worn anything in years. I know I can't afford to invest in anything that would look even half decent, but not flashy. So is it possible to get the look without jewelry? The last few posts have made me recall a lady in Sainsbury's at the end of summer. She was probably late 20s. Beautiful silk navy and beige striped shirt dress, light tan, fabulous flat and elegant leather sandals, lovely bag, gorgeous hair and utterly beautiful. And then I noticed the tattoo up the side of her leg. And then she spoke. Everything she wore at that point might, as well have come from the market in Albert Square. She might have been a lovely person and the sum total might have been £10,000, but at the moment she became cheap. Rude elf, you definitely don't need jewelry. If you won't be comfortable in it, it will probably just detract from the outfit. I think that it can look very youthful not to wear jewelry. It's that sort of polished French understated style. A discreet necklace might work for you occasionally though. By the way, given that the original question was how to look good on a budget, and assuming that the general consensus of be slim and tall may not be realistic for everyone, another point that has been made and that I agree with is that shoes are really important. Personally, I think that heel height really matters. I think that women tottering around on too high heels generally looks a bit cheap and try hard, which is why I think Kim Kardashian rarely looks expensive. Perhaps it's part of the confidence thing. Shoes that are the right heel height for you will give you good posture, a feeling of confidence, and perhaps make you look a bit taller and slimmer if that matters to you. I love 2.5-inch heels personally, but I think that everyone has a different comfort zone. Nice shoes definitely don't need to be expensive, and I think they can really make a simple outfit. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. Before you go, please like, comment, and subscribe for more daily uploads.